This is a 6-month update for the Philips TV PML9008 series. This particular model is a 65-inch. You can check out my original review linked on screen, and that covers the specs more in depth. I'm not really going to cover that today. I'm just going to cover the changes in the 6 months. There's been 4 to 5 firmware updates. I'll put them on screen for you. Hopefully you can see those. So in the 6 months, we've had 5 updates in the 6 months of ownership. In my original video I covered the pros and cons, and today we'll discuss whether any of the cons have been ironed out with these firmware updates. I have worked out there's an issue with the soundbar that I use connected to this TV. It's a Pulp S4, and it's causing some issues which I'll get into a bit later with the video. So I'm going to start with the cons this time. I still need to plug in a smart plug. The TV, even after the firmware update, occasionally I find it switched on, and occasionally still the screen doesn't come on, and I power cycle the TV, and it's easier to do with a smart plug than to get up and remove the plug every time. So I don't know what's causing that. Could be the soundbar issue I spoke of earlier, where it's triggering the TV on. Certainly it's not letting the screen show sometimes, only occasionally, but sometimes the lights will all be on at the back of the TV, but I can't get a picture unless I power cycle the entire TV. It's quite frustrating. Not every time, to be honest, but a few times a week I'll have to power cycle the TV to get it operational. Bit of a pain. Still a major flaw, well, something that's not going to change really with this TV. This is the home screen, what you're seeing now, and that software is not going to change, not with any firmware updates. What you might see is the very last update that we got, they added the Disney Plus, so that was a pretty good update to get Disney Plus on the TV. Like I said in my original video, I use a smart box anyway, so I don't rely on it, but it's there for those that don't plug anything in. You now have Disney Plus on this TV, so that's I put it in cons because the actual software itself is the App Store is a bit of a joke, to be honest. I'll just click on one for you to see. Let's click on music. So yeah, not the most comprehensive list of apps. Certainly I can't see Spotify on that list. Anyway, so it's a con still, this software, but point for putting Disney Plus on, and we subscribe to that, so we're quite pleased with that. Like I keep mentioning as well, there's definitely issues with the Pulp soundbar and the TV. It's got an eARC connection. That could be what's triggering it on and stopping the screen coming on occasionally, because it flickers to pass through the soundbar, if you would, and sometimes that's when I don't get the picture. I've checked the Pulp website, there's no updated firmware. I did see a mention of it causing issues with this and other TVs. Anyway, I'm sticking with it. When it works, which is most of the time, it's absolutely fine, and you get your decent audio and it passes through the soundbar. Just occasionally, like I say, I'm getting a few issues with it. I'm sticking with it. I'm holding out for a Play-Fi system which is wireless, but for the time being I'm sticking with it, and I'll have them minor issues occasionally. So I've switched over to my set-top box, which is an Nvidia Shield, an Android TV. The picture, as it's gone on, as I've had the updates, I'm not sure exactly. They don't release a list of what happens with the updates or what they're fixing, apart from them announcing Disney Plus was added. don't normally get the feedback off the firmware. The picture is still of a great quality, and what I would say is, in the original video, I recommended the Eco mode as the default setting, as a decent setting. Well, I was getting a lot of blooming on the blacks with that default mode, and what I'd recommend you do now is pick a mode and then just fine tune it yourself. So I've got a personal style here. Taking it out of Eco mode, I've lost all that blooming, and blacks are really nice and black, and there's great tone. So set it up with your own settings. The movie setting still seems quite bright for me, but Eco will introduce that blooming. So I have a personal setup, and you've just got to, like with any TV, to get the best picture out of it, you kind of tweak the settings again. It was a comment that I read mentioning the Eco mode from the original video, and since I switched out of it, I get a miles better performance, and the blacks are really black. One of the issues I mentioned last time was Xbox functionality, the HDR functionality. I got this strange purple screen that's been fully fixed now. So I'll get 120 Hz HDR, variable refresh rates. It's all tickety-boo, all the full settings that you would expect. What I would say again is 1080p content is absolutely, just looks better than I remember it on other TVs. It really pops, and you won't be able to tell from YouTube's kind of compressing of this video, but the 1080p stuff I watched, the older stuff, the older content, really looks great on this TV. Don't know how it's doing it different, obviously the newer technology. Another pro, as it were, is perhaps the price. This is a 2023 set, so you might be able to get a pretty good deal on this as the new technology comes in. Checked today as of making the video, in the UK I could see this 65-inch version I've got priced at $899, so I think it was priced at about $1,000 when I bought it, and I think I did get a little bit of a discount on that, but it's quite a lot of TV, and for $899, and it could go cheaper, like I say, as the new stuff comes out. So I'm classing that as a pro, pretty good value. Also in the pros, I'm putting Ambilight in again as one of my favourite features of the TV. I know it's a bit Marmite for some. Some really like it and some don't like it. I get a few comments about how gimmicky people think it is, but I'd say give it a try to those who haven't tried it before. It's not like a disco, it's not distracting, it blends into whatever you're viewing, and it's a really good concept. I've always enjoyed it since the early Ambilights. I've not seen massive improvements in this. We get the colour cascade to the back of the TV, so I'm not saying it's any better than the original TVs, but it still adds to the production, adds to the performance. It's not a disco, it's not distracting. I have guests round watching the TV, they don't even mention it, even though the wall's lighting up. They hardly notice it. It's seamless in part of the viewing experience. So that's it for the review. Like I say, it's had 5 updates, this TV. I'm glad I stuck with it. I've that niggle, that turn on and turn off little niggle, but it's still a joy to watch now that the Xbox is working as it should. I'm quite pleased. Like I say, could be the soundbar causing my specific issues, but you know, you don't expect them with mature technology these days, so that's a bit disappointing. But I think it's been a great 6 months with the TV. I've enjoyed watching old movies again. That 1080p content's great, and I do enjoy my gaming on there now with some more games supporting this 120Hz refresh rate or the variable refresh rate as well. It's going really well. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope that's been useful to some of you.